course, has to do with the rebel governors, and of course, those who are in support of the rebel governors and those who are in support of the so-called authentic PDP. Now, we'll also talk about the place of the opposition in all of this and the almost overflowed, according to some, Odua Gate. But the issue is still rife, is still fresh in the minds of some, especially members of the National Assembly. We must not forget to add the election of Nigeria into the non-permanent seat at the UN Security Council. That may just be an up for the country. The call for national dialogue, we'll touch on it as well. And did you know that the Edo State governor had already signed the death penalty into law if you are caught kidnapping or some form of a crime against the state? It will be death penalty. But is it a deterrent? Now, a number of contending issues, we'll try and see if we can touch on as many as possible. Thank you for staying with us today. We have Abubakar Yesufu, is a public affairs analyst, chairman, League of Patriotic Lawyers, a former student union president of the University of Benin, even when our governor was there. Okay, you were a senior then. Okay.
Yeah, we're contemporaries.
You're contemporaries,
so
okay.
To put it that way.
Yeah, right. So. All right, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, let's begin with the PDP crisis. The PDP crisis. But I must say that some PDP members or executives would not like me to use crisis because they say there is no crisis in the PDP. So what's your take?
Well, I want to start by telling you from inception that the League of Patriotic Lawyers is not supposed to be. This has always been our take-off point. It's not supposed to be a megaphone for any political party because we're actually pro-people. When I say pro-people, I'm talking about those who are homeless, those who cannot afford the good things of life. So since you mentioned the PDP, let me just add this, that if you were to wake up Charles Dickens from the grave tonight or today and ask him the type of times we are passing through, perhaps he would have described it in these auspicious terms: the best of times and the worst of times. It's the best of times because this has given, or it will give, better put, the opposition a very good time to put its house in order and give the colossal PDP an effective challenge. It is the worst of time that we are not so enthusiastic, we are not so pessimistic about this so-called alliance of the rebel in quotes, because we're always reluctant to refer to the deviant also in quotes as rebel, properly so called. The best of times is the worst of times. If the coalition of the new PDP can effectively challenge the PDP or form a coalition with another political party and give the colossal PDP an effective challenge, why not? So it's both optimistic, it's both pessimistic. So Dickens would have enthused, so to say, this kind of political movement as the best of times and the worst of times.
Well, we'll come into more of those details, but we must welcome our guest, Ahmed Jaji, who had found a way to get into the studio eventually. Thank you for coming on the program, a political analyst. All right. Okay, so I'll put that question to you because obviously you were listening when we were talking about some of the contending issues in our polity today. We begin with the PDP crisis, and I said that some elders in the PDP would not like me to use the word crisis because according to them, there is no crisis in the PDP. So what's your take?
Well, the leadership of the PDP, they like hiding behind the finger. Whatever name they call it, we know there is a lot of implosion within the party now. In a situation where somebody who is opposed to you has a landed property, you are threatening it, in a situation where the people within your party, they want to hold a meeting, you use police to disperse them. So I don't know what I will call it, if not disagreement or crisis. Then within themselves too, they say it will be a family affair. But the family affair that has been lingering for over 3 months now is no more a family affair, because every added day shows that the two factions are entrenching in their respective positions. So, but to people like us outside, may the fight continue, because that's another way of maybe freeing Nigerians from the tentacles of the octopus called PDP.
Well, the issues there, some of the persons that Ahmed Jaji referred to had to do with the so-called 7 rebel governors who were supposed to have a meeting somewhere, but got reports that they were going to be dispersed by the police, moved to another location, and one of them, or where they have their party secretariat, is being threatened or marked for demolition. They say it's supposed to be a residential house, you know. So would you say that these members or these rebel governors, like they call them, are still members of the PDP?
Well, I have not, I do not have the facts, so to say. But as it stands, I am shocked, miffed, that President Jonathan would allow these kind of aberration from democratic norms to continue. Harassing the rebel governors will not do the presidency any good. Now, will it reassure the re-election bid that we still talk about 2015? Discover that even in 2011, like I mentioned here about 3 weeks ago, that Jonathan had mammoth support. You know, he won Ribadu in Lagos, defeated him in Adamawa and all that. But this type of things are consistent with fascistical Gestapo, so to say. Things like detention without trial, torture without justification, and even it does not augur well for democratic elements. It does not augur well for the kind of euphoria, the kind of re-election bid he actually got in 2011. And if I were in the management team of Jonathan right now, I would really tell him that he should ensure that this kind of thing that does not augur well for image, they take the backstage. You can only win an election by your manifesto. The best way you win an argument is to present a better argument, not necessarily by demolishing anybody's house, not necessarily by trying to deproscribe, you know anybody's right to associate. So I'm miffed, and for want of a better word, I will say I'm scandalized. These so-called people who are managing Jonathan, they are not doing him any good. And the earlier he sees this advice, the better.
Well, let's talk about the place of the opposition. I do not know if the opposition had won the absolute confidence of Nigerians, according to your observation, which appears to have waned over the years due to failed promises, political manipulations, and what have you. So let me ask Ahmed Jaji, what do you think, how would you describe the place of the opposition in these in the polity today?
You know, fortunately, I'm a student of politics, and I read a book written by Rodney Parker discussing opposition politics. In the book, I read about one Chesterton too, who wrote The Beginning of the Struggle. You know, a vibrant opposition in any democracy is sine qua non, is very vitally necessary. You need a set of people that are outside the government that will keep the government on its toes. You know, so some writers say an opposition body must oppose anything and everything being done by a government.
It's an alternative government.
Yes, because if, like in Britain, opposition is the alternative government. When there's any crisis, there's a vote of confidence, vote of confidence in the parliament, you sack this government, the opposition party will take over. But that is in a parliamentary system. We are running a presidential system which still recognizes opposition. So, you know, it amazes me a lot when learned Nigerians say, hey, Lai Mohammed is talking out of context. Which context? Lai Mohammed is to propagate the interest, the philosophy, the totality of the party he represents. And that is also, that should be done by any other, you know, public relation officer.
That is the issue. That is the issue. Do you think that whichever political party anybody represents seem to have won the confidence of Nigerians? You
cannot say that for sure now, because there's no election at present. But politics is a game of number. You have APP or AMPP. You have NCP, that party that belongs to either to belong to the former head of state Buhari. You have AMPP. You have ACN. Coalesced, they merge to form APC, and these three parties are controlling some states. So when it is when an election comes up, they don't get it. That is when you can say, well, yes, they are whatever influence has win. But we are so far so good. The government in power, the government in power is very, very jittery.
Well, in the first place, you know, he referred to learned Nigerians. I want to correct that impression. It's only lawyers that are learned. It might sound very selfish, but that is
okay. Enlightened Nigerians.
Okay, better. You know, I am miffed. I'm taken aback because politicians, they are politicians, whether they are in PDP, APC, by Labour or APGA. And you discover that it is the same common man that is feeling the pinch. And it reminds me of you know scholars of history. You know, the bonbons, when they were driven into exile, they came back. They were so determined to assume the anarchic past. That's why, you know, historians and philosophers will say dynasty of the bonbon. In spite of your 22 years in exile, you've learned nothing and you've forgotten nothing. Nigerian politicians, despite the fact that they've seen a lot of drawbacks, military terrorism, I want to say that they have learned nothing and they have forgotten nothing. The degree of hopelessness, the degree of poverty, the degree of desperation is indescribable and defies analysis. You know, when you see Nigerians, what they really want, I want to contend. You know, it's not difficult to realize. Good pipe of water, electricity supply, crimeless society. Yes, these things are realizable.
We've seen this cycle over and over again.
Yes, but because the politicians, they are not interested. They are only interested in fettering their own next. Okay. You see that the common man is often the hammer and anvil.
I'm asking you, are you saying you do not even trust the other politicians who may have the face of other opposition?
Yes, well, you know, it's difficult for me to say because the other political parties, so to say, who are coalescing now into a viable position, they've not been given the opportunity to take the mantle of leadership from the central government. Until they realize that ambition, it is not true. You cannot just take Lagos as a model. I am surprised everybody says Lagos is a model. Even PDP governors, they'll tell you Lagos is a model. Abba tells you Lagos is a model. Labour tells you Lagos is a model. Why not allow that model, you know, kind of state to take over the rest of government at the federal level? I'm sorry, like I told you, I don't want to be sanctioned by the league I belong to. I'm not supposed to have sympathy for any political party. But everybody agrees, whether you're in opposition, you're in whatever party, that Lagos is a model. Why is Lagos a model? Because, you know, our governor has been able to transform Lagos. And even those who come from abroad, they realize that Lagos is actually the model. If this is the position.
So you may be sanctioned by your league.
No, it's my opinion.
Deductive reasoning. That's deductive reasoning.
It's my opinion, and like you know, in matters of opinion, yes, there can be no dispute. Gossip you, not disputable.
Okay, I want to refer to a comment that was credited to the chairman of the PDP, Bamagan Tuko, that President Jonathan will rule to 2018. Yeah. Yeah. How do you react to that, Madam Judge?
Shakespeare states stated in one of his plays that if wishes were awesome.
You think it's just a wish?
No, it's his wish, and I can't blame him for saying that because he's the chairman, beleaguered chairman of a sinking party. You know, so if he should make such statement to ginger the confidence of the sagging confidence of his members, one should not blame him. But reality check, does reality check support his statement? In a situation where you have 36 governors, and in spite of efforts to make 16 bigger than 19, we are having 11 governors for APC now. There are some 7 governors elsewhere in the same PDP that willy-nilly will not be in PDP as long as Bamanga Toko remains the chairman. That's 7 plus 11. That gives you.
Yeah, but that doesn't say the 7 will add up to the 11.
I'm telling you, if 7 doesn't add up to 11, at least it has detracted from the original PDP is having.
Okay.
So the influence has won, and I'm telling you categorically that the 7 will likely join up.
Maybe that's just a wish.
Well,
it's just a wish. Just wish it happens.
So
okay.
You can say that you will rule beyond 2019. Yeah. That's the way.
Well. I don't want to subscribe to the views just expressed by my
friend.
Not
a politician.
Yes, I'm not a politician that the PDP is sinking. I think they can still redeem this ship. If by tomorrow, Goodluck Jonathan decides to do away with these handlers, people will come up and you see like I told you, you see the euphoria that greeted his re-election bid in 2011, and what the chairman of the party Tuko just said is reminiscence of what the mathematician, who was his name, Omar Ojiko, said when MPN was holding sway, that MPN now defunct will rule for another 50 years. So things like that, they are not only undemocratic, they are not only anti-people, they are even anti-Jonathan. And this is what we are telling, with the league, they're trying to advise the central government that your handlers are not doing you any good. And if they fall, if they continue to make do with these handlers, I don't think anybody will.
No, when you say the handlers are not doing you any good, are you saying that they should not be seen to be working or functioning? These statements or these meanderings not part of trying to whip up political sentiments?
Yeah, the best way you win an election is to ensure that the people, they are really touched, their lives are touched. The homeless people, they become accommodated. ASU strike is resolved. Boko Haram that has seized virtually a part of the north, the problem is resolved. Poverty is given a safe bet, or what, in a summary form, or what Fela would call PhD, poverty hunger. It's not by staying in Abuja and making anti-democratic statements like that the PDP will rule till 2018, you said also. It's not reflecting well on democratic credentials of the president.
So and
I hope you
think governance should be key here, concentrating on changing lives or doing the right things, building infrastructure. Malam Jaji, you seem
that's what
to be
governance is
smiling. You think that is not that will not be achieved.
You see, there is a saying in Yoruba that you are taking 10 years to prepare for madness. How many years will it take you to exhibit that same madness? This is a party that has been in government for 14 years now. I'm sure your electricity is not from PHCN. You are using diesel to power it. The diesel how much do you buy a liter of diesel? They know nothing. In fact, I was telling somebody this morning that if Nigeria were to be a serious country, the Minister for Works must be held responsible for all the deaths on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, because that place happened to be under his supervision, and they came to Lagos with all fanfare. We saw my president driving roller coaster and whatever. It's over 4-5 months now. Nothing is being done. But I was told somebody has now come. One Chinese company is now doing something. But vicarious liability. No. Our government they are not responsible. They are so far away from us that they don't know what the ordinary man is feeling.
Are you saying the situation is unredeemable? I mean,
it's redeemable when there's regime change.
Talked about
the present people in government should give way for other people that are,
Jaji just mentioned Lagos-Ibadan Road. It's not only Lagos-Ibadan Road. Even Lagos-Benin Road, charity business at home, I must say, because I'm from Lagos State. The entire, network of road is palace, and it's a death trap. That's why I was miffed the other day when all the attention was geared towards the aviation ministry and all that. Yes, good as where
we are going to come to that.
And all that. So we live in a terrible times, and Jonathan can still redeem the situation. If tomorrow, we ask our students to go back to school, we solve ASU problem. Boko Haram issue is also solved. The issue of poverty is also addressed. We don't mind. The average Nigerian is not a contentious person. The average Nigerian is not a greedy person. What the ones are
So you are not talking like a politician. You are talking like a Nigerian who believes that once you see changes, you will change your mind as well.
No matter where that president comes from, whether the president is from Sokoto, is from is from anywhere.
Let's talk about a declaration that seemed to have attracted both commendations and criticisms from President Jonathan. The call for national dialogue. Some say it's a distraction. Some believe it's an opportunity to actually talk about some of these contentious issues, and I'm judging.
You see, fortunately or unfortunately, I happen to be one of the people that condemned the move when the proposal, when the president announced it.
Why did you condemn it?
The previous conferences we had in this country, have they been implemented? They all ended up in dustbin. We now call it dustbin of history. And now, you are also bringing another one, we call it a bogey, just to distract attention from what is really happening, and you now fool Nigerians to buy time. One, the party is imploding. Two, the president has not been able, the president and his party, they've not been able to deliver on the supposedly promises they made, which gave Jonathan a pan-Nigerian mandate. 21 million votes all over Nigeria, with the exception of maybe Osun State. All over Nigeria, everybody voted for President Jonathan. He had 21 million votes. So those 21 million votes, to whom much is given, much is very, very much expected. He has not delivered on all these things. So now, true. We call it Jogede Sobo.
Now the sincerity.
We call it Jogede Sobo. Now he has thrown banana to monkey. You see how the civil society is now divided into two. They are quarreling among themselves. That is exactly what the man wanted, and he is succeeding with it. But to now say the national dialogue will succeed or it won't succeed, I mean, look at the antecedent. The ones that have been done, and the man shot himself in the leg again. He now said when he met with the ulamas during the Ileya festival, he said, Muslim clerics, I'm telling you, I'm promising you, when these people finish with their talk shop, we will not take it to the National Assembly. Then if you are taking it to the National Assembly, then the sitting is ab initio irrelevant, unnecessary.
Well, yes, I want Abubakar Yesufu to respond
I do not agree with my good friend, but I would defend to death his right to express his opinion. In the first place, I believe that dialogue is better to judge than war. Dialogue is still the way out, no matter how fraudulent their intention is. Yes. What I don't subscribe to is subjecting the result of that dialogue to another debate by the National Assembly. The type of consensus, the type of agreement, while we are agreeing that dialogue is the way out, is that it's going to be a dialogue that's going to be absolute, because the issue of the National Assembly is going to be one of the areas we are going to talk about in the CONFAC. The question of remuneration for the National Assembly members, which the League believes is too high. Indeed, it is our opinion that legislative business should be on part-time basis. Our legislators are the highest paid in the world. All these things will be realized in a dialogue. And you cannot throw it back to the National Assembly members for debate. What we need is actually a referendum on the outcome of the dialogue. Dialogue is important.
You support the call.
I support the call.
With due respect to you, you are a lawyer. Yeah. The Nigerian Constitution does not give room for referendum.
Yeah.
If you go to section 9 or 7 or there, now there's no room for referendum. It is either you stage a coup, nullify the present constitution and bring about another government.
Nigerian school has no place for a coup too. You will agree with me. Nigerian school has a place for discussions, consensus, agreement, meetings.
But not dissolution of the national
they are not
assembly, not dissolution of the structures.
They are not talking about destroying or dissolving the National Assembly. They are talking about ethnic nationalities coming to state their grievances. If somebody like
we had in Benin,
Abubakar Shekarau comes out from his hiding zone to say, look, I'm laying down my arms, I want to discuss. Like what happened in the Niger Delta, we should welcome them. The best way to resolve an argument, like I told you, is
to judge. We know.
to judge.
Yes.
So,
okay.
For to say that the confab is not important will not solve the problem, it's not true. Right to associate, right to discuss is a constitutional right. It's a strength in the Constitution. And the Constitution says anything that is anti the Constitution is unconstitutional to the extent of
that was the tail or the tail wagging the dog. This is an idea of the president that I want a dialogue. After your dialogue, I want to give my people in the National Assembly their due respect. Whatever talk you must have made, I will not take it to them. If the man is in charge, he is calling the tune, he is calling the shot. So for anybody to now say, my friend, you are very stupid, you don't know what you are talking about, we are going to modify it.
I want to ask you a question.
Malam
Jaji, how do you suggest that the multiplicity of the contending issues, ethnic matters and misconceptions, if you like, should be resolved apart from a dialogue?
It is just unfortunate that we don't have much time on this program, but I can tell you our problem got compounded on January 1st, 1966, when some misguided elements took over from the civilian government, and another counter coup took place July the same year. Now those who took over July the same year, they are from a particular part of the country who feel that they have been shortchanged. Even the departed British government, colonialists, believe that they could protect the interests of the northerners. And now northerners fought back, they took over from Ironsi. Since that time till 1999, when we had a civilian government, all these northern elements that have been in control of this country.
We need to go on a break. I just asked you, how do you suggest that these issues be resolved apart from dialogue?
You cannot do it with this national conference, because there are fundamental problems we have in this country, and you cannot take my advantage from me and you expect me to do this. There is nowhere in history where somebody that is subjecting you to oppression will willingly give it to you on a platter. You must fight for it. Nigerians are dodging. They are hiding behind a finger. We'll
come back to take on a few of the other issues if we have the time. The program is Daytime Talk. We'll be right back.
I'm from North Central.
Thank you for staying with us. Earlier in the day, we went to town to find out what people have to say about these many contending issues, how they want to gauge the Nigeria's political climate, and this was all fun.
It's too early to judge on this political situation in the country now. PDP, new PDP or old PDP is not the issue now. I would rather advise them to be one. If we are talking about the faction of PDP, that's the home is not in order at all. So our leader need to work very hard to make sure they are one. We don't know where we are going yet. If we are talking about PDP or new PDP or old PDP, let us be one. That's my advice before the arriving of the election.
There should be no new PDP. Why? They are serving their state, and why should there be a difference between them? Instead of coordinating their position very well and making their party give them security so that people can vote for them the next election, why should they fight? And let their officers, that is the chairman, let him use wisdom to put everything together now. Since they are serving the nation, they should not fight.
Those new PDP, I can easily call them a progressive PDP, but at the end of the day, they are still going to dump that PDP because they are looking for a future. And even though, for example, for the 2015 election now, which everybody just changed, but those governors, I really like the step they take. Those are PDP, they are not normal than PDP around 2015.
My mind and my advice to the new PDP, whether new or old, that they should come together as one body so that they can work together just like APC and other parties as well.
If there is no crisis, there cannot be settlement. If there is no new PDP, APC will not move forward. I see them as APC candidates. There must be a way to do things. The way the things are in Nigeria today, the students at home, the political situation in the country is very porous. Under PDP, we are praying to God to give the power to the new APC.
2015, we pray for a change because the present government we have, I think our system is as if we are still in military, because they impose things on people, and at the end of the day, before people protest, before you know it, the government will just kick off without the mind of the masses. So we are praying for God intervention to intervene in 2015 election, for God to give us the wisdom and for God to intervene so that we have a good leaders who will pilot this country forward.
This is Peace Hotels Lagos, the ultimate business leisure hotels. Peace Hotels parades state-of-the-art and recreational facilities from the closet of your room. You can browse through the internet and make direct international calls because we also operate the PTO license for Peace Talk wired telephone line. Peace Hotels is home away from home with its 5-star altitude, its beautiful ambience, spacious parking lot, furnished suites, cocktail bar, restaurant, with African and intercontinental cuisine and Chinese delicacies, and a multi-purpose hall for your AGMs, seminars and workshops. And Peace Hotels is just 15 minutes drive from the airport in Lagos. For your bookings, log on the website www.peacehotels.com. Peace Hotels, blazing the trail of blending business with pleasure in the hospitality industry.
Thank you for staying with us. Gentlemen, I'm sure you heard the Vox, the people who responded from the streets, but you were actually, you had lady thoughts, and I would like Abubakar Yesufu to respond to it while we also respond to the comments from the street.
Yeah, I don't want us to be too pessimistic about this confab thing. Let us give it a trial. After all, when the then military head of state, after the demise of Abiola, Abubakar said, look, we're going to have, election, we're going to have our democratic institutions replaced. People doubted. That's why today, as we speak, we do not have our first 11 in the National Assembly. And if we don't go to this confab to really ventilate our ideas, we'll be surprised that the confab will be taken over by a simple team. Intellectual layabout, gadabout and boogabout. You see, because the government is the highest employer of labor, people tend to go towards government and governance. Everybody wants to be a senator. Everybody wants to be a governor. Everybody wants to be a legislator or a councillor. You don't need to impact, or you cannot impact on the people only from government. If you make the same honeypot very unattractive, you see that people that are genuinely interested will come over. Abiola was not a senator when he impacted on the lives of Nigerians. Just like Hussein Ventures is doing in my state, Osakumbo. You don't need to be a senator to impact on the lives of the people. So let us make government very unattractive. Let us make government and governance less attractive than
political offices.
Yes, government and governance. Not a senator earning millions, highest in the world. It's unsustainable in an economy of this nature that is powerless and anti-people. That's why. So let's give the confab a try.
You know, gentlemen, I like to move to the next issue, but I want to ask this question before we go. Abubakar Yesufu, you had said that when the former head of state, Abdul Salam, Abubakar, was when he said we were going to have elections, return to democratic rule and all that, people did not believe.
So we didn't have our
yes.
second
it was taken over or hijacked by some other political class or
some brilliant ones
who also come from a particular region of the country, the north. Okay? So does that suggest, just before we move on to the next issue, does that suggest that the Northerners seem to have more political awareness in the country?
You see, we call it political quadratic equation. Quadratic equation will tell you 2x plus x squared plus equal to 0. They will now say start from the basic principle, divide the x is equal to 0 too. At the end of the day, you will see what y stands for, you will see what x stands for. It is the same thing. When these people started in 1999, they ab initio, they knew where they were going. You Yoruba people, you are making noise that we didn't allow Abiola to be our president. Okay. We are giving you Obasanjo. That is why the Obasanjo's poster read, the man we can trust. Who are the we? The Northerners. The likes of Babangida, Abubakar, Abu Salami, all the retired military.
No, the issue is where were those who were against the process?
No,
it appeared to be a laid-back position.
We have had 3 presidential elections, if I'm not mistaken. 1999. 2003, 2007, 2011, that's 4. The 5th one will be 2000 and whatever, 15.
Yeah.
You know, so if perchance people were skeptical between 1999 and 2003, what about the intervening period between 2003 till now? Couldn't those people have come out and assert their political whatever dexterity to the benefit of Nigerians? So me, I don't want to believe that. The thing is, ab initio, these people, they knew where they were going and they planned and they were executing the plan and they were succeeding. Till now, they still believe, I did not been for now, that the activities of these G7 governors is now threatening the suzerainty of the PDP over the Nigerian state. They will have believed that yes, the country is their oyster. They play whatever they want with it. I'm a political scientist. We sat down, we analyzed this thing, and we knew what will come out of it.
All right. I want you to respond to this. Do you think there seems to be more political awareness now from the different sections in the country?
Yeah, well, I would say that what he has just mentioned, is reasonable. And like I always say, I concede to him the right to, express opinion, but I might not agree. I defend to death, his right to own opinion, but I will disagree. You will discover that when these people came in 1999, these so-called political autocrats that seized or took over power, all the instrumentality of government and governance, they appropriated or acquired it, money or wealth, security, whatever. So it's difficult for the good people to really come there. So they locked the gate, and it's difficult to permeate the gate of power. That's what happened. So the confab we are trying to boycott or honor, if we don't really go there and ventilate our idea, then they say the penalty for you to stay out of power, government or governance is that idiots will take over power. What is necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to be aloof or to do nothing. So since this confab is here, the ethnic nationalities, they are coming to discuss all those things that have been agitating their minds. It's going to be a forum too for human rights. It's going to be a forum, I guess, for aggrieved people of the society, the hopeless, the powerless, to come and really ventilate why they think we cannot exist as a corporate.
Okay, let's move to something. Yes, let's move to something else. I almost said it's been overflowed, but the National Assembly is not leaving it undone. Talking about the Odua Gate. She had been invited twice. She didn't turn up. Talking about the Minister of Aviation, invited to the Aviation Committee to defend the issues behind the bulletproof cars, and she didn't show. Armored cars. Yes. You call them armored cars? Yeah. Bulletproof cars, which we know are not just two of the many bulletproof cars in this country. As at May, Nigeria had been rated as the highest importer of bulletproof cars.
And private jets.
So how do you respond to the situation? If you look at it politically, from the presidency, from the opposition, from the Ministry of Aviation.
You see, when this story broke, a serious government, a serious, collection of people in government, what they should have done was advise the woman to proceed on leave. Pending the time, necessary investigations are carried out. Because a man is presumed innocent until proven otherwise. But in a situation where I have a case and I'm still in office, what stops me from interfering with the process of investigating me? And it has been proven now. Barrister Femi Falana wrote to NCCA or NCA or whatever they call themselves that you should be supplied with the details of the transaction. And the reply they gave him was that they didn't have any document. Is that possible in America? It's not possible. And if it were to be in America or any civilized whatever, where our own leaders go every now and then, I mean, the best thing for you to save the dignity of your party, your own self, your family and children, is to leave the team, take a walk, let them do whatever they want with them. I'm resigning in the interest of Nigeria, in the interest of my people. But
have you ever seen that happen in this country?
One woman, when somebody said it during the issue of Pentascope, when El-Rufai was accused, similarly like this, he got away with it. The Director General then said it is not in his character, it is not in Nigerian character for a public official to resign. And who has ever resigned?
Okay,
apart from Colonel Linyam or wherever, and the guy is denying it.
Okay. How do you respond to the overall Gate story?
Well, we belong to the pressure group, League of Patriotic Lawyers. We are not reactive, we are proactive. I would not subscribe to the opinion that Stella Odua ought to have resigned before now. If she resigns, how can we compel her to even face the pro panel?
No,
let me finish.
Let him finish.
She can be compelled.
Yeah. The investigation is ongoing. That is not to give her a clean bet or a clean slate. The Odua scandal or the aviation problem, so to say, is a microcosm of the entire rot that is inherent in the society. Firstly, we are going to wait for the panel to submit its report. But like I said in one of my interviews recently, I do not think the pro panel by the House can yield any fruit. Like the Abubakar fig tree, I don't think it will yield any fruit. Because we've had in the past, you recall that Bankole, Bankole set up a probe to really look at the National Independent Power Projects. Elumelu was the head of that probe, and it was indicted for 5 billion. The hunter became the hunted. Apart from that, we also saw Hembe, who was asked to prove MS Hotel.
Aruma
Hotel. And then Hembe was discovered to have collected 39 million without traveling. And the last of the proof we had is that of Farouk, Usman Farouk, Lawa Farouk, collected 620 or so, it seems, allegedly, from Utedala. And initially he denied. And when he was confronted that your transactions are on tape, he now recalled back. And, rather, he would rather like to go back to the past. I don't believe in the probe by the House of Rep, because we have been disappointed. So let us wait and see this thing. Other than that, if you look at the aviation thing, like I told you, it's just a part of a bigger problem. So let us not, even if you Gulantan, you take Stella Adua and she's sentenced to death. That cannot solve the problem of
you see, please, before we leave this
we
issue,
have to be systematic in our approach and unyielding in our approach.
Before we leave this issue, what I'm saying, what Nigerians are saying is that everybody is assumed to be thieves, but they say everybody be barawo. But if light catch you, morning catch you for there, now you be the thief. It is assumed that everybody in Nigeria is very, very dirty. But the moment you are caught with your hands in the cookie jar, for God's sake, I mean, you take a walk. I
am a lawyer. A crime, if it's a crime, you must prove beyond reasonable doubt. So I don't want to be like I told you.
Because of time, let's put a cap on this. I don't know if the cap will be fitting to refer to the election of Nigeria into a non-permanent seat at the UN Security Council. You're already smiling.
Yes, sir. You see, this issue, we treated it in our SOC 101, first year in the university. Nigeria's membership of the United Nations Security Council. The real members of the Security Council, they know themselves, they are only 5. And if any decision is taken in the Security Council, any one of them says no, it stands to be no. So whether you put Nigeria there or whatever, just
yes. 10 seconds.
Well, I think it's a welcome development, and I want Nigeria to use this opportunity to democratize these so-called permanent members of the United Nations. These America, Russia, Britain, Germany. No, Germany is not there. The permanent member. Okay. Germany is not there. So we want Germany to be involved. I don't see what France is doing there. I don't see what even Britain is doing there. Let us remove these two.
The victorious Allied forces.
Yes. Let us.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for coming on the program. We've been talking about Nigeria's political climate and the contending issues. Indeed, we did not exhaust the list. So it tells us that there are still many contending issues we'll take a look at in the near future. But let's leave it there today, that indeed Nigerians expect a more responsible response from our government in all areas as it affects the average Nigerian on the street. Well, I've been speaking with Abubakar Yesufu, a public affairs analyst, chairman, League of Patriotic Lawyers, and Ahmed Jaji, a political scientist and a public affairs analyst as well. My name, he says he's a politician as well. Well, my name is Emmanuel Ere. See you next time.
Dettol's biggest news ever. Dettol now at 100 Naira across every variant you buy, giving you maximum protection every day against germs. Get yours now.
Dettol, maximum protection against germs every day.
Winning in hot and dry conditions is hard. Causes the body to sweat, which attracts germs that are easily passed from one person to another.
What keeps you so cool, man?
Dettol Cool combines Dettol's protection with added menthol to protect from germs. Bathing daily with Dettol Cool gives you maximum protection against germs every day from head to toes and an invincible icy feel. For super cool confidence, use Dettol Cool. Maximum protection against germs every day.
Dettol's biggest news ever. Dettol now at 100 Naira across every variant you buy, giving you maximum protection every day against germs. Get yours now.
Dettol, maximum protection against germs every day.
Dettol's biggest news ever. Dettol now at 100 Naira across every variant you buy, giving you maximum protection every day against germs. Get yours now.
Dettol, maximum protection against germs every day.
Winning in hot and dry conditions is hard. Causes the body to sweat, which attracts germs that are easily passed from one person to another.
What keeps you so cool, man?
Dettol Cool combines Dettol's protection with added menthol to protect from germs. Bathing daily with Dettol Cool gives you maximum protection against germs every day from head to toes and an invincible icy feel. For super cool confidence, use Dettol Cool. Maximum protection against germs every day.
Dettol's biggest news ever. Dettol now at 100 Naira across every variant you buy, giving you maximum protection every day against germs. Get yours now.
Dettol, maximum protection against germs every day.
Dettol's biggest news ever. Dettol now at 100 Naira across every variant you buy, giving you maximum protection every day against germs. Get yours now.
Dettol, maximum protection against germs every day.
My name is Lukman Olaonibekun. Working with Governor Fashola has indeed given me an eye-opening experience. I've learned to be more creative and hardworking.
Dettol's biggest news ever. Dettol now at 100 Naira across every variant you buy, giving you maximum protection every day against germs. Get yours now.
Dettol, maximum protection against germs every day.
The National Orientation Agency, in collaboration with the Third World Media, presents Nigeria Street, Nigeria's first reality TV comedy series.
It is hilarious.
It is educative.
It is entertaining.
It is intriguing.
The first of its kind.
That is very selfish of you. That's selfish of you. Okay, Iwo Wona. There is no water. There is no good road. My restaurant, I am running it practically every day on a generator power.
Diversity,
competing interests,
struggle for survival,
even conflicts and disagreement.
But nothing can kill the spirit of Niger Street residents. Nigeria Street. This trailblazing comedy series features
Ngozi Wosu,
Kayode Odumosu,
Saeed Mohammed,
Temple Ikeji,
Jan Baba,
Frank Agu, and many more. For sponsorship and advert bookings, contact Oluwafunke Alabi, Head of Marketing, Third World Media Limited.
Telephone number 08129118011, 081-790-79154 or 080-717-90753.
You can also contact the National Orientation Agency office nearest to you.
It's not just comedy.
It's about
building a new and better Nigeria.
Nigeria Street.
Dettol's biggest news ever. Dettol now at 100 Naira across every variant you buy, giving you maximum protection every day against germs. Get yours now.
Dettol, maximum protection against germs every day.
Aláròyé ti jáde, ó jáde ó gbogbo òdodo nígbàkigbà tó bá fẹ́ mọ ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá àti ní Nàìjíríà lápapọ̀ àti káàkiri àgbáyé. Aláròyé ní kó ra kó ka lójú ẹsẹ̀ níwọ náà yóò dìkan nínú àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n àgbáyé nítorí gbogbo ohun tó lọ ni yóò yọ yékéyéké. Gbogbo ọjọ́ ìṣẹ́gun Tuesday láláròyé ń jáde. Tètè béèrè tiẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ fẹ́ńdọ̀ $100 péré ni. Òun nìkan nìwé ìròyìn tó ń ṣojú ọmọ Yorùbá níbi gbogbo.
Dettol's biggest news ever. Dettol now at 100 Naira across every variant you buy, giving you maximum protection every day against germs. Get yours now.
Dettol, maximum protection against germs every day.
Atoto arere kekule gbogbo sọ fún toko kadan gbogbo lọ́rọ̀ fo be wípé àkànṣe ètò aramaka tuntun kan ti wọ̀ lukasa sáwo ìjàmọ̀ra léwu lórúkọ rẹ̀ ń jẹ́ ní gbogbo alẹ́ ọjọ́ Monday aago 10 kọjá ìṣẹ́jú 10 lẹ́tọ̀ yóò bẹ̀rẹ̀ gbọ̀ngàn aṣọ ẹ̀tara ṣàṣà bá mi ká lọ sínú wọ́ọ̀dẹ kẹwàá lọ́wọ́ túbẹ̀dínlógótó mẹ́rin pọ́ńpà lókè ẹ̀gàn bẹ́lẹ́dùwà ṣe dáwọ̀ èèyàn sílé ayé kẹ́ńjà yọ lọ́bẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ gẹ́lẹ́ lọ́ba ṣẹ̀dáṣe tún dá àwọn ẹ̀dá àbàmì kan sókè ẹ̀gàn láàrin ẹ̀gì ní pápá oko ẹ̀rẹ́kọ́ lámọ̀ lẹ́ràn abìjà abọ̀hún tábàbàmì lọ́nà òkò ẹ̀yẹ sá tara ṣàṣà àpàdé ọ̀dẹ́yẹmí olú ọ̀dẹ́ tí gbogbo lẹ̀ Oòduà káfàtà ọ̀dẹ́ ìlú Èkìtì tó gba àgbòrò Èkó kankan ẹ má sùn para ọpẹ́ ńláńlá lọ́wọ́ iléeṣẹ́ tó sọ olùgbọ̀wọ́ ètò ìjáfara léwu iléeṣẹ́ Osa Herbal International Limited tó gbé ojúlówó oògùn Peter ẹ̀sà jáde ní iléeṣẹ́ yín yóò mọ gbèrú sí nígbà gbogbo àṣẹ Èdùmàrè ètò ìjáfara léwu kọjá ohun àáròyìn fẹ́ẹ̀yàn ẹ wò ó.
ẹ̀rọ kásán ìròyìn tọ̀sán torí ní mo mú wá fún yín tó yìn ká ojú ẹ̀ lórúkọ tèmi ń jẹ́. Lánàá ni gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó Wátúndé Fáṣọlá ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ ètò òṣùná tọdún tó ń bọ̀ síwájú ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó. Iye owó òṣùná náà tó jẹ́ tàwọn sí $489 bílíọ̀nù àti mẹ́sàn-án $489 billion ní tí wọ́n yóò fi ṣe gbígbọ́ bùkátà ìjọba yóò jẹ́ $2,6 bílíọ̀nù $234 billion. Nígbàtí èyí tí ó bá iṣẹ́ ìdàgbàsókè ìlú lọ yóò jẹ́ $200 bílíọ̀nù $5 ilé tí ṣe $255 billion. Bí Fọlábọ́lá Tìjání tó wà ní ìjókòó náà ti jábọ̀ ètò òṣùná ọ̀hún tí gómìnà là lẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀tẹ̀ òun ni ló sọ pé ó ṣe pẹ́rẹ́ díẹ̀ tó kọjá lórí bó ti wà ní ọdún yìí nítorí pé ọdún yìí ni odidi ọdún kan ṣoṣo tó kù tí yóò lò lórí àlééfà nígbà tí ó bá ti ọdún tí ó tẹ̀lé ìdajì ni ó lò kó tó di pé wọ́n dìbò míì látàrí èyí gbogbo iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n yóò bá ṣe ni wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe parí ní pàtàkì àwọn iṣẹ́ ìdàgbàsókè tí wọ́n ń ṣe lọ lọ́wọ́ bí ìṣúná ti lọ lẹ́lẹ́kàjẹ̀ka ló tọ́ka sí ètò ìṣàkóso ìjọba tí yóò gba $100 bílíọ̀nù ààbò ìlú yóò gba bílíọ̀nù 17 ẹ̀ka ọrọ̀ ajé ní tirẹ̀ jẹ́ $100 bílíọ̀nù nígbà tí ìpèsè ilé náwó mú $50 bílíọ̀nù ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ló gba bílíọ̀nù 77 nínú ètò ìṣúná náà tí ètò ìlera pàápàá kò sì gbẹ́yìn nítorí lọ́dún yìí ni wọn yóò parí ilé ìwòsàn Àyìnkẹ́ house àtàwọn ilé ìgbẹ̀bí tí wọ́n ń kọ́ sí Lẹ́kì Ẹ̀pẹ́ àti Badagry. Gómìnà ní ilé iṣẹ́ omi àdìyàn ni ó túbọ̀ fẹ́jú sí i tí ọ̀nà àjá òun ti Badagry pẹ̀lú ìkòdú òdù tí wọ́n ń ṣe lọ́wọ́ yóò sì parí lọ́dún tuntun tá a wà nínú rẹ̀ yìí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà làwọn ilé ìwé yóò tún gbẹ́wò tuntun wọ̀ tí ìpèsè lè gbé ní yanturu àti àtúnṣe àyíká yóò túbọ̀ bú gágà sí i bí wọ́n ti la kulẹ̀ sílẹ̀ lẹ́sẹẹsẹ. Òṣàlàyé sọ wípé ọdún àṣọ lúdẹ̀ọ̀ ní ètò ìṣúná tọdún yìí yóò jẹ́ o nítorí pé gbogbo àwọn kùdìẹ̀kudiẹ tí ń wà lára gbogbo aráàlú ní ìjọba yóò bójútó débi pé nǹkan yóò máa lọ tí ó sì dùn fún kálukú bí ẹni fẹ́ jẹ àrọ̀ jẹyàn. Gómìnà wa rọ kálukú láti lọ forúkọ sílẹ̀ o lọ́dọ̀ àjọ tá a mọ̀ sí LASTRA kí ìjọba lè mọ iye èèyàn tó ń gbé nípìnlẹ̀ yìí láti lè pèsè àwọn aṣọ̀lúdẹ̀rọ̀ fún wọn níwọ̀n ìgbà tó jẹ́ pé ó ṣe pàtàkì kí ìjọba mọ iye àwọn èèyàn